to Student Spotlight. This is a series of group interviews with third-year students from different programmes to coincide with the digital showcase at Manchester School of Art. I'm really pleased to be here with Lea, Meltem and Finn. Thank you guys for joining me. Who are all filmmakers from the filmmaking course. So it would be really great if you just start by introducing yourselves, a bit about your practice, and maybe just outlining what film you're going to be showing as part of the digital showcase. Lea, would you mind starting?
Yeah, I'm Lea. The work I'm showing at the digital showcase, I've got a couple of films. First one is Justin, What Have You Done to Us, which I made with BBC New Creatives earlier in the year, which is about a group of Justin Bieber fans trying to give up their love for him. And the second one is, this is a work that's in progress and there's a trailer for it on my profile, which is called Don't Tell Me Who I Am, which is a film I started earlier in the year about gendered clothing and exploring through movement the way that gendered clothing impacts how you move through the world. And then I've also got a film called Carrots, which is some of my digital visual work, which is for VJing, but I put it on my profile as an example of that. What sort of connects my work together, I'd say, is emotions, and the way that I'm really interested in how film can impact upon someone's emotions by impacting on their senses, because there's sound and visuals and it's sort of a all-round experience, and emotions are universal. While people have different experiences, they're underpinned by the same emotions that everyone can feel. So I think by tapping into that, you allow people to understand other people's experiences from they can relate their own experiences to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of your films. One recently, Me and George, which again is kind of very like a motive film. So are you using that as your films as a vehicle to kind of deal with your own experiences of these kind of communications and issues of identity?
Yeah, I'd say the exploring identity and sexuality is what I mostly do, and I've definitely been using my own experiences a lot recently as a way to, by putting myself in the work, I feel like I can convey more to people because it's coming from a personal perspective. And it's also just an interesting way to work through things that I've experienced. Like with the Justin Bieber film, I was just a massive Justin Bieber fan, and one is really interested in the idea of infatuation with something you don't know. So yeah, that, and generally that helped me give up Justin Bieber.
Well, I wanted to ask a bit about that because I did I've seen that film on the Female Filmmakers BBC Arts show. So I just wanted to ask a bit about commissioning and your kind of experience of that.
Yeah, I mean, that was the Justin Bieber film was something that I had planned before, but didn't really know what I was gonna do with it. And then I saw the application for New Creatives, kind of thinking, I don't know if they're gonna like this. It's a bit, I don't know if this is what they want. But then when I got there, they really liked it, and they were like, oh, we were looking forward to meeting the Justin Bieber girl. So yeah, and it was really brilliant to have so much help in making it, be given a professional crew and a professional producer. It was a very different experience to making a student film. And I think it's helped me learn what it's actually like to make a film in the real world, I guess.
I had the Justin Bieber chant going in my head a long time after. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Lea. Meltem, do you want to introduce a bit about your practice?
Sure. Hi, I'm Meltem. I'm a genre filmmaker, so I primarily make horror and sci-fi films. I usually use analog format, so Super 8 or 16mm. I find it I don't know, quite limiting at some, like, I don't know, like, I find it limiting because it's more interesting to like make it on those formats, I guess. So there's like limitations to what you can do with them, which makes it more, I don't know, more creative sometimes. I'll be showing a teaser to my film Dead in the Water, which is a short ghost story about a girl called Charlotte who like moves into a girl called Sarah who like moves into her new house, and she gets haunted by the ghost of a girl who's like died in the lake beside her house. But yeah, that's
Awesome.
I'll be showing.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, I've seen all of your films in before with the film. What do we call it? It was film club. That happened every week in the film room, and the last week was an open call. So yeah, and I remember seeing Stiletto.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed. Kind of describe it as a cheesy slasher with a high heel, which, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And so, I'm really curious about your process of working with analog. I'm assuming it must be kind of a lot more difficult in terms of editing. What is it about the kind of analog process that you particularly like?
I guess how hard it is. Like for my major film, I shot on 16mm on the Bolex, and I had to trust my cinematographer entirely because I couldn't actually see the viewfinder. So she had to just like kind of like, we like had planned everything, and it's so like planned, and you just have to like get there and do it, and it's such a strange process, and lots of things go wrong, but it's kind of like the process of that happening that makes it more enjoyable and difficult. And then like you obviously don't know what you filmed, so it could go entirely wrong, and you could have just filmed like a bunch of white stuff and like get your film back and it's all exposed, and that's terrifying, but it's also like really fun as well and exciting. So yeah, for our major film we like shot a week before quarantine, so we got to actually like film our film, and we got it back from the lab like a week later, and that was really exciting because we obviously had no idea what we had filmed and stuff, and it was really limiting too because we only had 7 rolls of film, which is 21 minutes of footage to make a 7-minute film. So it was crazy. I don't know why we decided to do that, but it was really interesting. It was a really good like learning curve for me personally.
Amazing. Yeah, it definitely sounds like there's an element of risk, but that can be kind of really rewarding.
Yeah, for sure.
Are there many people on the course that were using analog, or is it, yeah?
I think there was like a couple of people using Super 8, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if anyone else used 16mm. That was just like something that I wanted to try out. I thought I might as well because it was my last year at uni and I knew we had like access to this equipment. So I was always interested. When I first started uni, I had literally wrote in my application that I was really interested in the course because it had like ways of shooting on analog and like teaching that format, and that was something that I really wanted to do. So I'm really glad I got the chance to finally do it on my major film.
Cool, that's great.
Yeah,
little shout out to Jenny Baines.
Yeah, what a legend. She's so sick. I love it. She's been so supportive.
Oh, to be going red. Thank you so much, Meltem. Finn, hello.
Hi, I'm Finn. I guess I'm still kind of trying to define myself as a filmmaker. Normally I do cinematography, but this year I kind of moved into directing and was kind of set to direct my first film, but unfortunately obviously didn't get to make it because of quarantine. But I'm really excited to maybe be able to show that at the physical degree show, because it's definitely still going to be made with the help of these 2 great people here also as well. That'd be great.
Oh, cool.
And but I am going to be showing the kind of the research film that I did for the major film, which was kind of a look into it was kind of set around my hometown, filmed it here, and it was just exploring the idea of nostalgia and I guess how to portray that and invoke those feelings into a wider audience who like don't come from my hometown but could still get those same feelings of like growing up in a small place, and tried to kind of explore that through composition and lighting and stuff like that. So yeah.
Where's your hometown?
It's on the Wirral, so just a little peninsula by Liverpool and between Liverpool and Wales. So that's me.
And what was it about this year? I mean, from a few people I've spoken to, they talk about the third year just being this moment where people go, I've got one chance to, you know, really try this out. So what was it that kind of made you decide to think about directing?
I guess because so I worked with Meltem. We'd worked together for a couple of years, and I filmed. It's kind of like filming those films was so great, but it was like, I think you feel to a degree you're kind of filming someone else's story, and it's like, oh, what would it be like if I was to like do my own story? Because I don't know, I was just really excited by that idea, and I think it's what you said. It's kind of third year feels like it's almost all or nothing because you have the whole year to develop this. So, and I feel like maybe I wouldn't get that chance again because I knew that directing wasn't like particularly something I really wanted to go into after uni. So I thought this would be the perfect chance to just explore that, and especially in that kind of safe environment of uni where you can mess it up and it's okay, and you won't like not be able to afford rent or something like that. So yeah.
And I know that filmmaking as a course, you've been kind of deeply impacted by the pandemic. It's really kind of halted lots of production. I believe you were meant to be going abroad somewhere. Was the film?
Yeah, look, we were meant to be going to Bosnia. Like the 28th of March, I think we were meant to be going. So literally the weekend after lockdown started, we were meant to go. But luckily we got all the kind of the money back from that, so that is also a project that would definitely be happening in the future. I didn't have a specific role on that. It was just going to kind of help out and do what needed to be doing, but it's a really exciting project. I know that it'll definitely be done sometime in the next year maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, there must be projects that have just been kind of halted, and in terms of your film that you're working on, I suppose everything you're just kind of waiting in terms to kind of pick that up again.
Yeah, I'm sitting in my dining room now, and all the props are like literally all along this wall, and it's really sad. I have to come in every day and look at them. But yeah, it's just kind of a waiting game, I guess, because I mean, one of the locations I'm using is a school, so it's kind of waiting for those kind of things to be back open, and really you need the social distancing to kind of be done because you can't really film some people 2 meters away from each other. That'd just be kind of silly. So, yeah, just waiting really.
We're waiting. So you've all mentioned collaboration in some aspects. So I mean, this is kind of an obvious question, but how important is collaboration in terms of the production of these films that you do? I guess I'm just kind of opening it up now, so anyone can answer.
I've learned a lot about collaboration in third year because I produced Meltem's film. So everything she was just saying about only having 21 minutes of film and things like that, we had to be so trusting of each other throughout that process. And while also keeping a really calm set, because we didn't have time, or we just couldn't afford for everything to get messy because we didn't have the film. So that really taught me a lot. But throughout the course, it's just everyone specializes in different things and no one is the best at absolutely everything. So collaborating can only improve your work with the right person.
What about you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely what Leanne said. I think one of the lecturers said this to me as well. It's when you kind of open yourself up to others and your ideas, it makes good projects great. I think it really is like the key to making something great. And I think so especially that this year as well, I think the past couple of years I've been kind of closed off to maybe expressing my ideas because I think it's just the fear of judgment, isn't it? It's kind of like feeling that someone's going to tell you that your idea isn't good or something to that effect. And I think really it is just important to open up that creative conversation. So even if it's not going to work, you can have that, find a middle ground or find something that works for the both of you. So
yeah, I think it's just massively important. Like, collaboration is so important. Also, like, I just don't think that you can make a film without collaborating with people, especially if you're making like narrative films. It's really hard, and like, I think it's about like being with the right people who have like the right mindset and who think like you and kind of like trust your ideas, but you also have to be able to like trust theirs as well and kind of like appreciate what they're telling you. I think that makes like really good collaboration, because I don't know, I feel like there's going to be something that you forget, or like they're going to have like a better idea that's going to make your project a lot better, and you can only achieve that with collaboration. So I think it's massively important.
It sounds like your course has this kind of, really strong network and being able to collaborate with each other. That's going to be really important continuing after being at the art school, I suppose. So I just wanted to ask about any kind of extracurricular stuff, because it seems like you're all very active in helping each other out with Talent Lab fortnight. At the end, there was this kind of big showcase in the gallery. How important is that to you in terms of professional development?
I think it's really important because when you're at uni, you're given a brief, and sometimes what you want to make doesn't quite fit that brief, although they're usually quite flexible. But I think it's also important for finishing, you need to be doing things outside, because you need to be able to drive yourself creatively without the deadline or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
What about you two?
So, yeah, no, I think I agree. I mean, Zoe, obviously I've done the instructions work for you and stuff like that, and it's just great to kind of work with well, I don't want to call you a client, but I guess a client, so to speak, or someone that is kind of giving you a professional brief, and you kind of have to fill it. And it is, I guess, similar to uni, where you have this brief and you have to achieve it in a certain amount of time, but I guess it just feels a lot more like it's really preparing you for what's going to happen after uni. So it's been great to build up a load of contacts that obviously I can continue with after we graduate, and I've met some really great people doing it as well. I think I've arguably learned some more doing some professional jobs than I have doing some of the uni briefs, to be honest. So
Yeah, I think uni's really like prepared us for like life after graduating, for sure. Like, especially collaborating with a lot of different type of filmmakers who have different styles and opinions to you. I think that's so important, because you're always gonna have people with different opinions to you, especially in the professional industry, and uni really kind of like helps you with that. Yeah, and also you get to learn so many like different skills, and kind of you're not condensed to one type of style. Like, you have to, throughout uni, we've had to learn so many different ways of filmmaking, especially first year, when we had to like work with different people and make different things. Do you remember in like the first week where we had to make like different types of films? It's like documentary and then a 1-minute film and whatever. So yeah, it's been really good in kind of like helping you develop yourself as a creator, and also kind of like get your style and, you know, have that for like after uni. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I talking about that and people that have come in. So I suppose Talent Lab, from an external point of view, looks like this amazing fortnight where they bring in lots of different people from different areas of filmmaking to come and talk to you, and there's loads of workshops. So with that in mind, but also maybe considering your tutors as well, have you received any advice about your own work that has really kind of been quite significant?
Yeah, I mean, Talent Lab was amazing in showing us that there's different jobs in the industry, and where these like that a casting director came in, that's not a job that would come down to one person making a film at uni, but in the industry, that is someone's sole job. So it's really interesting to learn about things like that. But I think a piece of advice that I was given was, I don't necessarily feel like I have a particular medium in which I work in terms of film, like documentary, narrative, artist film. So someone gave me the advice to always have like a word or like a core sentence or something that your work centers around, and then you can make every decision according to that and let that dictate the medium if you're making narrative, documentary, installation, rather than starting with the medium and then working backwards in a way.
Yeah, I guess my piece of advice was really what I said before, because I got it in my feedback for my major film for the portfolio. I got it, and it really was just one of our lecturers, Lauren, saying that, you know, for good ideas to become great, you do have to open yourself up and kind of let people in. I think that was because it was really something I was struggling with this entire year, and something that I only really, I guess, got over in a couple of months before quarantine, which is kind of annoying. But I think it's definitely something that hopefully I'll be able to take forward with me and really be able to create better things than, yeah, I have them.
One of the pieces of advice Chris actually gave me was just make the films that you want to make, even if you don't think anyone's going to watch it, because there will be people out there who want to watch your films, and there'll be people who like your style, and even if you don't think there will be, which has been really important, especially if you're like a genre filmmaker, especially like horror, for example. Not a lot of people like it, so I know it's quite hard to like find people who are interested in your work, but having that advice was really crucial because it just made me kind of like be more sure of myself and kind of like go ahead with what I wanted to make for my major film, especially.
That's excellent advice. What a smart guy.
Yeah, he's great.
What do you think, if you could look back to 3 years ago, might feel like a really long time ago, but what do you think you would tell yourself? Is there anything that you would do differently?
I think it's kind of, I think I'd say something kind of similar to what Finn and Meltem just said about being braver with your ideas and knowing why you want to make something. And yeah, rather than trying to make films that you think other people want to see, just make the films you want to make. Because I think that definitely sort of impacted the work I made in first and second year. I was definitely trying to make what I thought other people wanted to see. But yeah, it's hard when you're 18 and you're starting university and you're not sure of yourself anyway. So I think after the 3 years, hopefully that's what people come away with, just being a bit more confident in what they want to make.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's so important. That's kind of the biggest learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say the same thing. I guess just being more kind of honest with your ideas and wait, hold on, let me rethink what I'm gonna say. Wait.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so I think, and it's also what Melton said, is this kind of I think if I was to go back, just make what you want to make, and but really challenge yourself at the same time. Like when you do another film, ask yourself what you didn't do last time and try and work on that and build on that, so that you're kind of constantly progressing. Because I think maybe a rhythm I did get into was, okay, I'm comfortable doing this, so I'm just going to carry on doing this, when really I should have been maybe trying to switch it up a bit more and really challenge myself. And I think maybe I could have made a bit more progress in those few years, but I've still come a long way, so I really don't mind.
I'd say like collaborate with as many people as you possibly can, especially in first year, because that's where you're kind of like forming your own style, I guess, and kind of finding stuff out about yourself and what you like and what you don't like and who you want to work with in the future, which is really important. Also, make use of the equipment, like all of it, because you're not going to get that after uni, and it's kind of terrifying. So you might as well use it whilst you're there and kind of experiment and make whatever you want. I know it's like really kind of easy to just, like you said, Finn, like it's so easy to stick with what you know, but really push yourself and kind of put yourself out your comfort zone, because you're not like, you're in uni. It's not like you're making a film for like a client, you're making it for like yourself essentially. So you might as well fail, because that's where you learn, and that's really important. Because I did loads of massive mistakes at uni, like within my filmmaking, and it really helped me kind of like develop my own style and my ideas for like the upcoming shoots that I had in like the next coming years, which was really important, because obviously I wasn't going to make those same mistakes again.
How do you all feel about graduating?
Oh, I hate this question so much.
It's
Like,
what is it? Is it
Scared?
about leaving? Is it missing everyone? What what?
I think it's being a bit scared about how we're going to go about making films in terms of like equipment and things like that. It's so vital. And how we're also entering a really unstable industry, especially at the moment. But I kind of hope that there'll be new opportunities arising, and that the fact that we've all gone through this experience together will almost make us stronger in wanting to help each other out on projects and collaborating and things like that. So I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying. Yeah.
Yeah, I think well, I know Lauren, is working on having almost kind of, to say kind of like a year 4 thing, didn't she, guys? Something about being able to collaborate still and having the kind of uni environment to work as almost a gateway into the world, because it is quite scary now to think that obviously that's uncertain. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make my next film or when, and I think it's just a giant question mark, isn't it, of like how will the life that I've been living for the past 3 years, like being able to make realistically like 3 films every academic year, how is that going to carry on, or will it? And so I guess it really is just the uncertainty, but I am feeling positive. I think because we've had the opportunity to make so many contacts and work with so many people, I think I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to carry on doing some work after uni. So some work after uni.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, Finn, it's so uncertain. Like, we don't know what's happening with the industry so far. It seems like a lot of people are just kind of like out of work at the moment. Obviously you can't make films like together because of social distancing, but like I'm kind of hopeful, because a lot of film graduates are in the same position right now. Like we're all kind of trying to like make our way into an industry that's kind of like doesn't exist at the moment. But I think that will help us like collaborate more, and I think interesting films come with when you're limited to what equipment and stuff that you have access to, and it kind of like really pushes you to like make something really creative. Whereas like if you just kind of had all the access and quarantine and all this like COVID stuff never happened, then I don't think we'd be making as interesting films as we will after quarantine, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that made sense, but I think it'll really like change our perspective on filmmaking and stuff, and kind of like we'll really appreciate collaboration with other filmmakers, whereas like before it was a given, but like now it's like, oh my god, collaboration, we can finally do it, we can make a great film now, like it'll be great. I'm excited.
Well, yeah, I think that's something that's so unique and special about your course, is this kind of intrinsic collaborative nature. And next year you've just got to start with where you are and what you've got and who you're with, and you have built up this kind of amazing network. So it sounds like you can kind of create these opportunities by working together. Finn,
Oh no, I was just going to say, because I mean, sometimes when we had briefs before, they did give us like quite a lot of limitations on what we were allowed to either put in the film or what equipment we could use. Because I remember in first year when me and Meltem,
Yeah,
they were like,
chaos.
You're going to use the 700D and you can't have more than 20 words, and we were like, oh my god. But that we came up with something really quite interesting. Like, the story was, I think I guess you think we came up with something I thought the story was pretty good, but because of those limitations that we had, you kind of had to build the story around. It had to be a good story because it wasn't going to look the best. It wasn't going to look amazing. But yeah, I think those limitations that you need to put in place was beforehand, I guess, inadvertently prepared us for situations like this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So where can people see more of your work? Do you have any websites, or how can people check out the work that you're making?
My website is leajudge.com, and I've got everything that I'm showing at the digital showcase, as well as some other work on there. And then I've on my Instagram, Lea_Judge. I basically like an online scrapbook. I just post experiments that I'm doing and things that I'm working towards.
Yeah, I have a website as well, so it's finnloganbrowning.com, and there's some ways to contact me and some work on there. And then also my profile on Free the Work has most of my work on there as well, and some more info and what genres I work in and that kind of thing. So yeah, you can look me up.
My Vimeo is Meltem, Yalcin, Evren. It's just got all my like experimental, strange little horror films on there if you want to see more. And my Instagram is Meltem, Yalcin, Evren. I'm currently working on something really exciting, so please check it out if you want to.
All right. I will make sure that some of those links are available on where this film is being launched. But for now, thank you so much, guys. That was really great, and I really appreciate your time. And please keep in touch, and I look forward to seeing some of your work on the digital showcase. We're recording this just before the showcase is being launched. That's it for me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.